Welcome to part 2 of martial art adaptation. In learning a martial art style, in learning all sites of martial art styles, the reason why you need to learn more than one is because most of your opponents on earth are learning more than one. Now, I made a video, I don't know if I posted it, but I'm going to talk about it right now about starting on your level. When you are taking a new martial art, every sensei on earth disagrees with me and they can kick the finger, the middle one. Because I'm going to tell you right now, I can't unteach you what you've already been taught. I can't do that because it's not going to happen. Once you have been taught a martial art for a certain amount of time, it's there for life. So a lot of you are watching my videos and you're saying, but James, you do the same fucking kick like 10,000 times. Yes, I do. Because I can't untrain that shit. I can't tell my body not to do that. My body does that shit automatically. Henceforth, you cannot start someone in a new martial art at the bottom of the barrel. You have to start them at the level that they are on. So if I come to you and tell you I'm a first degree black belt in Kung Fu, which I am not, so don't go writing you're not a first degree black belt. I don't have a black belt at all. I've beaten first degree black belts. If that counts, then I would be better than a first degree black belt by all accounts. However, it doesn't work that way. In real life, you don't have a black belt, you don't have a black belt. Doesn't mean you can't fight. It just means you don't have a black belt. Same thing with a championship belt. If I beat up a UFC champion tomorrow, that would not make me a UFC champion. That would just mean I beat a UFC champion up. That's what that means. It doesn't mean shit. It won't hold rank. It won't count in the real world because if nobody watched it, nobody recorded it, then it never happened. Even if the guy goes to work with his eye busted up and shit, and they were like, well, what happened to you? I bumped into the wrong fucking dude on the street. And that can happen. Don't think that it can't. A specific guy way back in the day when Mike Tyson was just getting famous and he happened to come through Virginia, where he got into a fight at Virginia Beach with a boxer who was not as good as he thought he was, and he got his ass kicked by a younger, badass Mike Tyson. I think Mike Tyson had to pay a fine or some shit because he was just passing through and the guy started fighting a nightclub. Y'all can go Google that shit. And then you have to remember when Mike Tyson came out and he knocked out that guy in his first fight in yay so many seconds. You know, shit like that happens all the time. Luckily for Mike, he was doing it in the Olympics and then he went professional. Okay, that shit happens all the time. I'm 46. There's no way in hell I can ever go professional. I had a hip replacement. I'm in need of another hip replacement. No one's going to sign me for that shit. They may sign me for commentary, and I'm open for discussions for that because I would really love to be in the martial art world versus cleaning toilets for a living and going to school for a job that I really don't want, but I need a job to survive. So anyway, moving on. Your ability to fight is only as good as your ability to think about fighting is. Your ability to train is how you are going to fight. So when you are training with someone, first, as the great Ramsey Dewey would say, don't hurt your training partner. Respect that. And respect what Mr. Dewey says. Don't hurt your training partner. Now, I'm going to be the first to tell you, I don't agree with everything that all us martial artists say. I don't. And I know a bunch of them don't agree with me. I haven't seen anybody come up on my videos yet saying bad shit. So that's a good thing, hopefully. But I also don't go on nobody's videos saying bad shit about them. Because I don't have the right to delegitimize anybody, and I don't want to be delegitimized. Now, on the other hand, if we get into the ring and I get my ass beat, yeah, you got me. You got me dead to rights, you know. But I'm also not going to travel halfway around the world to prove a point, you know. Because even if I win, it's not going to change that person's mind. They're still going to not like me. Hell, they're going to unlike me even more because I beat their ass, you know. And the thing about martial arts, there's a lot of prideful people that don't want to be wrong, all right? And I consider myself one of those people too, because I will defend Bruce Lee until I die, and I don't like when people cut down Bruce Lee. I really don't mind when they cut down Frank Dukes or Ashita Kim, but when you cut down Bruce Lee, who if not for Bruce Lee, there would be no MMA, there would be no Horace Gracie and them doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu where you're on your back a majority of the time. Now, I'm going to say some shit and I'm going to piss all you BJJ people off. All right? I'm a stander. I'm a stand-up fighter. I am not a ground and pounder. I am not doing my best to kick you and get you down. My job is to put your ass out while we are on your feet. Don't get it twisted, though. I do have a little ground game. I got a little bit more since I was in the Army and they taught me BJJ. But prior to that, I know how to choke a motherfucker out. You know, but I would prefer to be on your back choking you out from the standing position where I can put my knees in your spine versus be on my back while you're on top of me while I'm trying to choke you out where you can be elbowing me and stuff. And here's the thing, and again, I will quote Ramsey Dewey, combat stress is a thing. You know, when you're under a lot of combat stress and someone's choking the shit out of you, it's kind of hard to get your logic straight and start elbowing them in spots. And if you watch any of these fights, and I say it all the time when I'm watching them, but I also know that in the midst of a fight, because I've been in those situations, it's not always easy to remember that you can elbow somebody on this side because the liver's over here, or over here in a kidney or a free-floating rib, when someone's choking the shit out of you. The only thing in your mind is, nah, I got to get out of this fucking hole. You know, you're not thinking, I can get out of this hole by elbowing them. No, that shit doesn't always work. Now, as I said in another video about how I got jumped on one of my jobs, and the guy had me in a grasp like this, but he came like this around me, and he was slinging me like a rag doll, and then I remembered that I knew a little bit of judo, so I used his momentum, and I threw myself forward, and I threw him over top, and I landed on top of him. And he still had his grip, so I elbowed him in his sternum. His grip came off, I rolled backwards, and I told him, all right, now get the fuck up. I'm going to give you the chance that you didn't give me. So he couldn't get up because I hurt him. So pressure points do work, just in case y'all don't know that. But, you know, it's all about who teaches you what. The right teacher will teach you shit that will work. The wrong teacher will teach you shit that may work, but might not work under combat stress. So when the guy had me, I was in grass like this, and we were on his back. So I was already pissed off, and I do my best pressure when I'm pissed. So I started elbowing him, and I elbowed him twice. And I was like, boom, boom. And the second one, I grinded a little bit, and he come up off me, which gave me time to come up off him, which is another reason why I tell people when you're going to tackle me, I'm going to drive my knees and my elbows clapping into your ass. Simple as that. My knees are going here, right beneath your ribs, and I'm going to turn those son bitches a little bit, kind of like the backstabber when Carlito does that, but only in the front. And I'm going to drive my elbows directly into the center of your shoulder blades. That way you will have to come up off me if those pressure points work and I do it right. They should make you release because you're going to be in enough pain on both sides at the same time that you're not going to be thinking about how much wind you knocked out of me because I'm going to knock the wind completely out of you. The thing with fighting is situations, adaptations, and shit happens. Shit happens in a fight. I can tell you right now, shit will happen in a fight that you do not believe that can happen. Now, I did do a story on one of my videos about the time I got to fight in the whole week. I did a special thank you to those golf cleats that saved my ass, because without those golf cleats, I probably would have lost. And you know, I give credit to where credit is due. The guy I fought was bigger and stronger, but he was not a martial artist. I, on the other hand, had been training since I was 7. I was 15 when we had that fight. He was 13, but he was built like a brick shit house, but it wasn't all muscle. I also knew that he had asthma. I was already 3 legs up on him in the whole fight as soon as the fight began. I knew my enemy. What I didn't know was how good I was. And then after that day, nobody in the projects ever fucked with Jonah ever again until we got to high school, where they could pick on me with their mouth, but they would not show up at parks or at any place that I said, well, I'll be here at this time, be there or be square. And then a couple of my bullies I would catch later. But that's not here or there for this video. The fact of the matter is, I'm going to have to make a 3rd video, but the fact of the matter is that if you are going to learn a martial art, you need to be ready to adapt to everything and anything that's coming at you. Because if you don't, as I said in the other video, if you don't adapt, you're going to take a nap. It's really quite simple. And you know, I haven't fought professional because I was never given the opportunity. And I've explained that in a video way back when Pride and Rec, before MMA had a name, but Pride, Rec, ISK, and all of them in the 90s, like 95 to 2000. I put my application in because the internet was a thing. It just wasn't as conglomerate as it is now. Only smart people did the internet, and they had email. I had email. I didn't know what the fuck the internet was because I was still buying porn at the store. Anyway, bottom line on that is that, I'm going to have to make a third video. PC again.